Hey guys, still here and welcome back to SnowRunner. Unfortunately, the last episode of SnowRunner, because the series is performing abysmally. I know that the ones who are currently watching, you, might be sad about that. And I am kinda too, because I really like the game, and I think it is perfect for calm content. But the latest videos have gotten, well, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,800 views. That's meaning that's about, well, 3 to 5% watches the videos on this series, which is really poor. It's really not a lot of people. And as such, I want to use those slots, as I call them, the video slots on my channel for something else. And by slots, I mean I can only produce so many videos per day, week, month, and the SnowRunner videos, well, they're taking a fair bit of time to record, of course. They're taking a fair bit of time to upload. But more importantly, I don't want to have too many videos coming out at the same time, at the same day. So that's why this is going to be the last, official episode of SnowRunner. In this last episode, I'm going to do a contract. I'm currently in Russia. I've done quite a lot of off-screen work. And my plan over here is to do the, where was it? The Verono contract, cycle of cargo. I already done one phase, and now I need to get over here to the sawmill. And from the sawmill, I need to proceed west to the factory to deliver a bunch of wooden planks there. So we're going to take the road through here, and either the long way to the south. This place is dreadful, by the way. I got stuck here for a very long time. Let's get this over here. Waypoint, waypoint, waypoint. Let's see, to here. This is going to be the trickier part, I think. Although the truck that I'm currently driving is really potent. What I'm currently driving is the Azov 64131. It has permanent all-wheel drive. And it has, when you're in low gear or in reverse gear, it has differential lock on. It has 8 wheels, and those 8 wheels are constantly getting power. So this means that the vehicle has a lot of traction. Now I hope that this video doesn't stutter too much. The other previous videos had a bit of stutter in them, and that made them really annoying to watch. Unfortunately, I didn't catch them as I was recording it. And I didn't catch them as I was uploading it. So unfortunately that actually made it into the video. I lowered the graphics settings slightly, so hopefully it's going to be better. And we won't be stuck with another stuttering video. One thing I haven't done really too much in these videos on SnowRunner is press 1. If you press 1, you're going to go into first person view. And that makes the whole situation a lot more immersive. Especially when you're trying to get out, only using your mirrors. I mean, not out of the vehicle, but out of a different spot. When you're only using your mirrors, you really recognize how little you can actually see of the environment. I mean, this is perfect. You're just watching everything. You can see behind the vehicle, you can see what you can winch onto. Good luck doing that in first-person view, because only you can see is the back of the cab. So you're gonna have to use your mirrors. Both left and right. But if it's dark, it's even worse. Alright, let's make this turn to the right. I think my other truck would have struggled with this pretty severely. And this one is still plowing through. Not easy, but fairly comfortable. One thing I'm really impressed about with the Azov, or at least this Azov, is the low fuel consumption that it has. I'm looking at a fuel consumption of about 6 liters a minute, whereas other trucks which are going off-road with all-wheel drive, they usually consume a lot more fuel. So this vehicle is fantastic for what it's supposed to do, while still getting a decent speed. Now, I do really hope that the cargo is going to fit into this flatbed in one go. Because one thing I do not want to do is haul a trailer through here. She could probably do it, but it's going to slow me down quite a bit. Although, to be fair, I think in this game I've never really driven any faster than 40 kilometers an hour. If that. And that's only on the road with the highway vehicles. Even the Khan that I was using, the reconnaissance truck, the Scout, even that one was struggling a fair bit. And sure, it can go pretty damn fast, but it has a tendency to skid out of control. So yes, it can go fast, but at the same time, you don't really want to. Or you're going to find that your truck runs into trouble. Speaking of, I didn't quite see this dip over here. So I can pull myself sideways out of it. There you go. Come left. Big puddle. Let's go to reverse gear. And engage the differential lock. Yeah, it is always on, so it should be working. What time is it? 0:52, right. I know that I can turn it into light by the press of a button or two, but I do want to try and get out of this little rut over here in the dark. Can't imagine why I want to be out here in the dark, but hey, might as well try. Alright. Back to automatic gear. Here's the big swamp. This is really not a good place to be. Unless you're a bunch of mosquitoes, I suppose. In which case you'd probably love it there. Now, so far, so good. Once I'm actually carrying the load, it's going to be more difficult to navigate, because you'll be a lot heavier. Here I gotta be a bit more careful. Water and mud. Treacherous combo. By the way, I'm not entirely cutting out any future opportunity for SnowRunner, because I do play this with Attes and Sparky, and one of the videos from that has already gone up. It's called Professionals, SnowRunner Professionals, in quotation marks. I do play this with them, well, pretty frequently lately, and if I have some good footage of that, or if we're having a particularly interesting, funny moment, I might put that up on the channel. But beyond that, don't expect any more regular SnowRunner content, unfortunately. Cargo management, give me the wooden planks. Twice. Yeah, good. Okay, so I can carry all of that. Now let's plot the route. Need to go here, here. And then either take this narrow path or take the long way. I think taking the long way might be easier, because I've tried this. And especially here and here, it gets really tricky. So we're going to go the long way around. This is a bit zigzaggy, but this vehicle can do that. To here and to there. Alright. Should be there in about 5 to 8 minutes, I think. I got a comment on one of my SnowRunner videos, by the way, from somebody who says, I just completed all the contracts. I spent 130 hours on the game. That's really impressive. Considering the rate at which I'm progressing with the contracts and the missions. Just yesterday, I spent, I think, 90 minutes trying to get a truck out of a particularly nasty situation close to a lake. It was on the Michigan map. The one with the dam. I think it was the Mestville Dam. Damn, that took me a lot of time. No pun intended. I just took the vehicle, tried to drag it around, tried to drag it up a hill. It didn't work. It was a struggle. But then again, you play this game for the struggle. And that's something else I was discussing with Sparkinettes yesterday. I think this game has, to an extent, an inverse difficulty curve. You play this game for the struggle. You play this game because you struggle to get through the terrain. However, by doing that, and by accomplishing contracts and unlocking new parts and new vehicles, the game actually becomes progressively easier, because your equipment gets better. And that's an interesting way to play the game. Another game that has that, of course, is XCOM. And oh no! Ah, fuck. Yeah, that just happened. Another game that has that is XCOM, and XCOM is another one of those games where you start out with a really big struggle, and eventually, as you tier up, as you tech up, it becomes easier. I don't think that there are that many games that have that. This is one of those few that have it. Now, as you can see, I can have all the equipment in the world, I can have some of the best vehicles, but if you have a shitty driver like me, or somebody who wants to try and take that bridge a bit too sharp, then that happens. And now the cargo will be at the bottom of the bridge. Of course, I can get new cargo at the sawmill. Hold on, I have to go left here, right? Yeah, left. Now I can get new cargo at the sawmill, but it's gonna set me back another couple of minutes. So next time around, I'm gonna have to take that bridge a little wider. Simply because that didn't really work out too well. Alright, second attempt. I cut out the bit of the video where I was just maneuvering from the old place, from my garage, back to this pickup point, the sawmill. And now I'll try to make that bridge turn... Oh, sorry about your fans. I'll try to make that bridge turn a little bit less sharp. Because I do want to get this contract done. One thing I've really liked about SnowRunner so far is that you have an impact on the map. And I don't just mean that in the sense that, of course, you're changing the terrain by moving on it. Or people's fences, for that matter. But you're also, at least in the case of this map, the, what was it, Tamir. You start out with the map, of course, locked of sorts. You have to unlock it by going to the watchtowers. And then over here in the middle of the map, you have this, well, this hub, if you will. It's a nightmare to get to, especially early on when you have a pretty bad truck. But once you get a couple of supplies delivered here, I think it was fuel that I was delivering and vehicle spare parts, it opened up a fuel station and a repair station and a trailer store. So this means that I now have a sort of, well, forward operating base of sorts in the middle of the map. And I think that's really neat, because that's a way that you can just deploy a garage of sorts. Speaking of deploying a garage, the game also has vehicles or attachments to vehicles which are strictly there to repair other vehicles. I haven't shown you these on the video yet, nor will I get around to that, but especially when you're playing with multiple people, this can make for some really nice teamwork. Where you have, for example, one truck or two trucks who are just there to deliver cargo, and the third player, or the fourth, just depending on how many you have, no more than 4 anyway. That player is going to be there just to escort, and to make sure that you guys can keep going. Because they'll be carrying spare parts, they'll be carrying fuel, and they'll be making sure that you guys stick to the road. Or, well, that you'll be able to get along the road. Because you won't be struggling with a damaged suspension or a wrecked engine or a low amount of fuel. Because let's face it, some of these vehicles are real fuel hogs, and I have had it happen that I tried to get from one place of the map, or one point of the map to another, and I just went through almost all of my fuel. And then the game goes, oh yeah, okay, great, you're here. That trailer, that you're carrying right now, that needs to go back all the way across the map. And you just go, oh right, and my fuel. So I really love the fact that you can just adjust the map, or you impact the map and open up a new fuel station, a repair station. You can find garages every now and then. We had that on the Michigan map, where you can find a garage on a different part of the map. And as such, you can then make sure that you have a new spawn point, instead of having to go from one part of the local map to another part of the local map, and then you have to drive there. So I think that that's really neatly executed in the game. Something that I was discussing with Sparky and Etis, however, is that sometimes you're wondering, A, why people live here, and B, why we're not just choppering in everything. And sure, helicopters are expensive. And if you thought a truck was a fuel hog, wait until you try a helicopter. Helicopters are a hell of a lot more expensive. But in some of these cases, I think a helicopter would be a lot more interesting. And we were already discussing how that would work. You would start, for example, with a small transport helicopter with maybe a sling net, where you could transport some lighter stuff. And eventually you graduate to a Chinook, or a sky crane, or something to that extent. And then you'll be able to carry some really heavy loads, and maybe lift vehicles out of trouble. I don't really know of any game that is currently doing that. So if they ever, let's say, have an April Fool's event for a game like this, or if they want to try something different, where of course you're not struggling with the mud, but you're just trying to get stuff from A to B, I would love a sort of helicopter transport game, especially in co-op. Because especially in co-op, you can really work together. And you could do that, I think, in a couple of different ways. You could all be on the same helicopter, like a pilot, co-pilot, maybe a loadmaster, somebody who potentially gets out once the cargo is where it needs to go. And alternatively, you can just have your own helicopter. You can try doing different missions, which might need the coordination of various different helicopters. Although, of course, that sort of implies that you have to have multiple people, instead of being able to play this solo player. Which, in the case of SnowRunner, is something that I really do quite a lot. When my friends are not around, I just try to play this solo. Because it's just, I don't know, it has something to it. And I can't quite put my finger to it, but it has something. Alright, now I need to go to the farm. Where is said farm? Oof, all the way over there. Okay. Let's go to here, here, here. I think I don't need fuel. Might be able to pick up that upgrade part. Although, not while I'm carrying a load. And then do I start zigzagging here? This does not look like particularly hospitable terrain for a truck my size. So I might have to go through here, but this terrain is one big swamp. Okay, we're gonna have to go through here. And then there, 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 and here. That'll be quite the trek. We're carrying one concrete slab, and that's the last thing that the quest needs, or the contract. So hopefully this is going to get me a decent reward. And of course open up another part of the contract line. I really like this truck. It has, for me, the right performance, or the right mix between performance, fuel consumption, and just, well, capability, off-road capability. It's, it can struggle with mud a little bit, especially if you're in a swampland and you stop. She starts to sink really quick. So whatever you do, keep moving. Even if it is just a little bit, keep going. Because if you're not going to keep going, that's when you're going to get bogged down. But if you just keep her going, And you can keep her going for a long, long time with that 350 liters of fuel. And if you try not to flip over on bridges or tumble down like I did, then she will get you to where you need to go. And I'm also getting a sense that her winch is slightly more powerful than the winch of the other vehicles. But maybe that's just confirmation bias, and I want it to be true. Oh. Kind of underestimated that rut there. Now, in case you're wondering what's going to come in the place of the SnowRunner vids, I'm not entirely sure yet. It might be more Colin content. It might instead be more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Because the UAD vids, Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, UAD, those are the ones that really perform well. By comparison, I can have a video like this, SnowRunner, gets me 1,000 views on average. Or I can have an Ultimate Admiral Dreadnought video, a UAD vid, and that usually gets me anywhere between 8,000 and 15,000 views. My best video at the channel ever was Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, and I think that got up to 160,000 views or something like that. So it's not just performing or outperforming SnowRunner by a small margin, it's a massive, massive margin. So don't be surprised if you're going to see more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts on the channel. Speaking of, I'll be streaming that starting Wednesdays. Wednesday, 8 PM Central European Time is when I'll be streaming Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Might be doing some missions, probably will be doing scenarios instead. So custom things that you guys have devised. And that will be a very nice way to also get some interaction. Maybe just have you there to avoid my mistakes, saying, hey, you're cross-torping yourself, or hey, you just deleted that turret, which I have also done on multiple occasions. And deleting a turret then, of course, means reducing firepower. So mistakes like those, or maybe just creative suggestions on a different way to build a ship, all of that on the channel on Twitch, twitch.tv/stealth17gaming. Wednesdays, 8 PM Central European Time. You should be able to work out using one of the various websites what that time is going to be for you if you're interested in such a stream. And if you can't catch the stream, then don't worry, because I'll probably be doing videos or turning some of those Ultimate Admiral streams into videos later. Now here comes the tricky bit. Because this is going to get narrow, and it's getting foggy as well, so I don't really have good vision here. Whoa, don't trip over. Just gonna pull myself to the left a bit. Yep, that's better. It's solid ground, that's one advantage. It's solid ground. But the terrain is really quite sloped, which is not ideal for a truck like this. Because yes, it's an excellent vehicle, but it does have a small tendency or inclination to tip over. Let's go for low gear until I clear this corner. Come on, power through the turn. Okay. Oof. Rocks only. That also means nothing to winch onto. See, this is what I was worried about. The terrain, or the path here, is too narrow. It's too hard to maneuver. Ow. Come on. There we go. Also, all these loose rocks are not exactly helpful. Although they can give you a bit more grip at times. Sometimes I curse these rocks, and sometimes the rocks are my best friend, because especially in a swamp, if you then get one wheel onto a rock, and you have all-wheel drive, then that might just be the thing that you need to get out. Come left. Bit more. Gotta be careful with this slope. I wouldn't be surprised if I tip over. Come on, Azov, you got this. Slow does it. Thank you, all-wheel drive. Alright, was that the straight? And yeah, that was that treacherous terrain. It should be relatively easier to get to the farm now. That's going to be the last bit. Alright, back it up. Come left. I don't like this swamp though. Do I really have to go through there? Yeah, I do. Okay then, let's do it. It might look worse than it is. Because according to the map, it's not terribly deep. I do have that pole there that I can winch onto. Let's just drag it through. Come on, winch. Yes. That's what I want to see. Right through. Okay. Find some more solid land. That's better. You already see the farm up ahead? Or is that too far? Oh yeah, it is foggy. It's probably going to be a bit more difficult to see. Let's see, this is all road, right? Yeah. Those concrete slabs don't look terribly well secured to the vehicle to me. Supposedly they are. But the way that they're bobbing around, that does not inspire a lot of confidence. That looks like a farmhouse. Yep, this appears to be the drop-off point. Hold on, was this the entrance? Sort of. I can still make that other bit work. Just turn in here. They don't seem to have a fence. Oh. Well, I'm sorry. I have to go through here. Fortunately... Whoa! Random trailer flip. You don't seem to get penalized for crashing people's fences or wrecking vehicles or such. I think that one might up the difficulty curve just a bit if they actually start penalizing you for that. Whoa, another trailer just randomly flips. It's like trailers get scared when this thing gets too close. It's not the first time I've seen it happen. You've been promoted! And I got 4,800 out of that. Rank 9. Alright guys, that was it for SnowRunner. I am sad to see it go. It might, as I mentioned, not be gone entirely, because I might still do the occasional shenanigans video on it with the guys. But for the series, this is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Thank you for watching this series, and I shall catch you guys soon for other videos.